I just
And
watched me and Sonny. I had never seen Harvey Birdman before. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, or whatever it's called.
Oh, I've never seen that. I thought you were, for half a second,
Like an
I thought
old
you
Adult Swim show. It's like an early Adult Swim show, I should say. It's just like
the one where that they take the stills from an old superhero show and they turned into. It's like the first abridged that happened, right? That one.
kind of. There are
Well, not
parts
abridged.
that's like that. There are parts that are like that, but most of it is animated normally. The one where there's much more like appropriated footage in Space Ghost.
Right.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
What the hell? But yeah, there was an episode where Scooby and Shaggy get pulled over in the Mystery Machine, and they it's good. It's good. It's funny. They get arrested for smoking or being under the influence and driving, and they're like, no, he's not high. He's just stupid. That's what Fred tells them, and they have all the like correct voice actors because Cartoon Network just owns all of these. So they're like, yeah, no, we'll just get you Scooby Doo.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's a clip in the middle of the episode where there's just smoke coming out of a room, and you hear Shaggy and Scooby's voices, and they're both laughing at nothing. And Shaggy's like, wait, no, I just thought of it. Scooby Dooby! And then they just start cracking up.
Man, we need to rewatch the Scooby Doo movies again. That was fun.
We need to rewatch a lot of things. Got a lot of catching up to do, old buddy.
Yeah, I have a lot of money saved up. I'm probably gonna get fired from my job, dude. I got ran up the other day. Again.
I mean, should you just, like, quit before they can fire you, or what?
Well, I don't know. The last chick who tried to put in her 2 weeks, they just fired on the spot. So I don't know. I'm just gonna write it out.
Then you wouldn't have your 3 strikes, so they could tell your next people not to hire you or whatever.
Yeah, but what's his worse? 3 strikes or 2 strikes? You know, at that point you're already. I'm just hoping that this new job is real and that I transition into it without any problems. I'm supposed to get the offer on Monday, and
it kind of sounds not real to me, but you know.
Oh, it's real. It's real. The building isn't real yet, but the person who's gonna run the building is real, and the company is real. And I googled it, and they have a lot of stores. Okay. I was mainly surprised. I was mainly surprised they were picking my really sad, depressing ass town that has nothing in it, because that plaza has been dead for a while. Like, even before quarantine.
Yeah, when you were like, they don't know what they want me to do yet because they have so many jobs, they don't know which one. I was a little bit like, okay.
I don't know how else to describe. I'm not lying. I don't know how to. He said that there was just like a lot of.
I hope it's all true, but it does sound. How do the kids say? Sussy.
It is a sussy baka. You're right. Oh yeah, that I forgot to update to my coworker who got terminated. She apparently got a new job and starts tomorrow at a daycare. Apparently, what had happened was a customer who runs said daycare saw her interacting with a customer's kid or something and was like, "I need more like babysitters who are good with kids. How much do you make here?" And she's like 14. It's like, I'm more than willing to pay you a lot more than that if you just drop this job and come work for me. And they exchanged numbers, and then I guess he called her the same day and was like, "Yeah, you're hired. Leave." And then she was like, I wasn't there for all that, but I was there for the point when she told my manager, "Hey, I want to put in my 2 weeks." And it was one of those things where I couldn't tell whether she was serious or not, if it was a joke or not. And then all I knew is she got fired. I was like, oh, what? But I didn't know about the job, so...
That's so fucked. That's so fucked they fired someone for trying to quit.
Well, it's not just that.
That
Apparently...
could really fuck her over later.
Well, look, she's 18. This is one of her first jobs. She's been here for more than a year. And she doesn't like working there, so it's like, fuck them, you know? And they pay her better at this new thing.
I don't really know how any of this shit works, because I'm an idiot who's never worked a real job before.
Oh no, I was upset when I first heard about it too, but I'm still.
I mean, can't people pull that up and know that about her when they look her up or something?
Well, as long as you don't put it on your resume, you can just and don't mention it. They can't look up something you don't mention, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right, but still, it would be nice to be able to put that on your resume that you worked there for years.
I mean, you
instead of just dumping you off with no resources,
I mean, you can, but you just have to explain why you were fired, and you can't say, "Oh, it was their fault." You have to say whatever the official thing they wrote down on a piece of paper saying on your permanent record you were fired for this, you know, and say, "Oh, well, you know, I've learned from that. You know, I can do better and all that." You kind of have to be brief.
Yeah, well,
at least that's
sure.
Yeah, yeah. I don't work in a great place, but anyway, she told me some story. I don't not believe her, because she's not the kind of person that she's a chatter. She's chatty, you know. Not to say she doesn't have a filter or anything, but she's very chatty.
Chatty Cassie.
Yeah, she's very chatty. So when she said this, I didn't think she was making it up. She talks so fast that it's I don't think she can formulate these thoughts fast enough to lie. You know what I mean? Basically, she told me that she got into some conflict with my boss and a while ago, and that was the first she's quit multiple times, and every time they called her to come back because they're so short-staffed, and she was pulling 80 hours a week, so she ended up being the glue holding everything together. And then
Eesh.
This time when she said, "Oh, I'm resigning," they didn't want to have to write down, because when you resign you have to write down a reason as to why you're resigning. And you can't just write down, "Oh, I'm getting a new job." You have to explain what it was at the company, why you're leaving. And she's obviously, going to bring up the little thing with her and my boss. And the way she explained it, they didn't want to mention it. They didn't. In fact, when the firing manager, which is interesting because it wasn't my manager, who is the manager in charge of her and our department. It was the other manager who's in charge of a different department, who we rarely talk to on a personal, on an overseer level, because he's usually in the back doing lifting big boxes and running the forklift and dealing with frozen meat, like other shit that's not the hiring front end shit. Different department. So that was also strange, because I guess they didn't want to have on the record that the manager she had the conflict with was the firing manager. So I think they were trying to sweep something under the rug. Again, I don't know. She didn't tell me what the incident was. I can only guess. They've argued. I'm hoping personally that it was something verbal and not physical, because they argue a lot, but I'm hoping it wasn't something heinous. But the way that this was described to me sounds sketchy, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Sketchy as fuck.
It does sound very sketchy.
I guess what you're saying in the gist of it is it's way worse than it sounds even. So
yeah, my mom's like, "Oh, I think she's lying because she doesn't want to explain why she got fired." But I'm like, I don't think I have a pretty good filter for bullshit. I can tell when I'm being lied to, and she just didn't have any motive to lie. She didn't give a fuck about the job anymore.
You can
she
tell
got
you're
her
being
new...
lied to. Like that time I told you have to save all the bread.
You did... Okay, that... I did fall for that. But... I don't know, I just trust you, I guess.
Wow.
Is that a bad thing?
I'm glad I was able to live up to that trust by lying to you horribly.
I guess I just trusted you because you play more video games than me. I'm like, oh, this is a popular game. Sam plays games. Probably knows about this, man. It's like when I was excited about Detroit Become Human, and you're like, wait. That's made by Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream sucks. Don't play that game. So that's why I deferred to you. I also defer to you about colors at the time.
I do think that Become Human is probably their best game, though.
Yeah.
Heavy Rain might be better. Heavy Rain's kind of cool until you realize that none of it is... Until you realize you're not really doing anything.
Yeah, I heard Heavy Rain wasn't
Actually,
that great.
no. I just remembered what the twist ending is. That game sucks. No one cares about spoilers for this. The twist ending is one of the 4 characters you play as is the murderer, and when you were being a detective as him, you were looking for clues for no reason, for a crime you already knew the answer to.
Oh.
Yeah.
That seems like a plot twist from, like, one of the Saw movies.
Yeah, kind of. I've never seen any of the Saw movies, but I'm assuming that yes, maybe.
There's a Saw sequel where, because Jigsaw died or whatever, or he got an apprentice, I should say, and his apprentice just so happened to be a cop or detective. So what he would do is commit these Jigsaw murders, but he would have the resources and forensic knowledge to cover up the murders or point the finger in the wrong direction. Because he was playing both sides of the chess game.
Yeah, imagine that, except he was even pretending not to be Jigsaw when no one was around and no one was looking. And he would just, like, go out on his own to investigate Jigsaw and pretend really hard, even though he's Jigsaw and he knows that.
Maybe he was like
scared about. He's like the person he's trying to fool is you because you're playing the video game and you're watching him.
Maybe it
makes no sense.
Maybe he was paranoid and thought someone was watching him. Someone from another dimension was peering into him and making decisions for him, and
I mean, that could very well be the explanation, but that's fucking dumb.
It was true. It was me controlling him through the controller. It's called the controller. Think about it. He puts like a tinfoil hat on. But honestly,
there should be a video game character who, when he wears a tinfoil hat, you can't control him anymore. That'd be cool.
But in fairness, like on my part, they do have a right to write me up because I have been coming in like 10 minutes late every day.
Yeah, no, I mean, your thing, I think you deserve to get written up. You're a bad employee.
Oh yeah, I'm a terrible employee. I mean, I do the work.
I would never say that you should be a better employee, but
it's weird because like, I don't care, but at the same time, I care in the sense that I don't want this to affect the transition into the next job. I guess because I am done with this job.
Sense.
Like, I'm just like, let me get my last check, and like, I would love to get my vacation shit that like I haven't clocked in yet, but I have a feeling they're not gonna give it to me, like they didn't give it to that other chick. But yeah. Also, like, I don't know what is with my manager. He's just been really pissy lately. Like, he's the kind of guy who I went on a rant on this. He was complaining about, like, dude, because you're a manager. What are you talking about? And then
complaining about what?
He was complaining about why does everyone come to me for every little thing and ask me for help? Because the people who work here have worked here for less than like a month, and you're the manager. I don't know what to tell you. They're supposed to come to you. That's your job. You're supposed to manage them. And if you don't want them asking questions, when the questions arise, just teach them how to deal with them themselves, right? You know. Like, you don't see a math teacher when yeah, no. So basically, there's this desk, and there was no one there, barely any customers, and there's a chair there. there's usually not a chair there when I have to stand behind it, but there's a chair there because he was sitting in it, of course, because of some hiring event thing no one came to. And he was supposed to do, like, on-the-spot interviews in that chair or whatever. And I was like, I really want to sit in that chair because I've been walking around this giant store all day and my legs are killing me. And it wasn't time for me to take my break yet, so I was like, oh my god, I'm just going to sit on this desk. That way, and it's like one of those solid desks, so my fat ass isn't going to destroy it by sitting on it. It's like less of a desk and more of a bar, I should say. So I'm sitting on this bar, and like, I don't know, and I've done it before, like, a bunch of times, and no one's mentioned it. He just kind of, there's this second floor office thing where the managers come up and down from. He's like, halfway down the stairs, he's like, come on, Emeka, what the hell? Get off of there! And I'm like, dude, what the fuck, dude? Like, chill. I didn't say anything, and then I got off of it, and I started leaning on it, and I'm just like, dude, like, come on, dude, my legs are killing me, you have a stand all day, doing all this fucking walking, like, I have the steps on my watch to prove it. I'm putting in the steps. So, I don't want to hear about this, oh, the fuck are you doing sitting on this thing? It's like, because my legs hurt, bro. I don't know why retail jobs
you're not doing anything. It's actually just because he wants to yell at people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like everyone I know who works in a customer service job, they're not even... I almost never hear people complain about customers. It's always about their manager being a psycho.
I've had some crazy customers, though. Like, I had a guy who wanted to fight me because I did nothing.
That's pretty funny.
So he was in the self-serve machine, his family was getting groceries. Yeah, I wanted to knock him out. He was like high out of his mind or some shit. His family was, oh, can you help us with this coupon, blah, blah, blah. They kept calling me back for help for something. And I was like, I saw they were like mumbling themselves, having trouble with the machine. I was like, hey, you guys need any help? And the one guy was like, you need to back up, bro. You need to back up. I'm going to knock your ass out. And I'm just like, excuse me, sir? And then the relative was like, no. He didn't mean nothing. He didn't mean all that. Actually, I do need your help though with this coupon. So I don't know what that dude was on, like if he was paranoid or no, because the
my family member threatened you. Please help me with my coupon.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And then at the end they were like, oh, they had like a coupon they were trying to add on. I'm like, oh, this one expired, bro. It's like, can you add it on? And I was like, no. And it was the guy who threatened me, and he was like, oh man, that's some bullshit. And then the relative was like, yeah, if you didn't threaten to attack him, he'd probably do it. But honestly, I wouldn't have done it anyway. They said if we don't do rain checks, regardless if that guy's an asshole. I only do it if it's like I accidentally already typed it in, and I like the effort it would take to undo the coupon. It's gonna take longer than to just leave it there. So it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Or if it's like a really sweet old lady and she can't read or something, and I'm just like, oh, fuck it. She doesn't know what a machine is. But, like, that shit was wild. I've probably told you about the guy who came in at Staples and, like, peed his pants in front of me, right?
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah. Then there was another one who, I guess, defecated himself. I didn't see it, but I could smell it. And it left a residue on the public chair, and I didn't clean it. My manager at the time had to clean it, and I was like, damn. And then, like, I was like, what should we do? Should we get, like, some... Because, like, in my mind, I'm like, this is super not hygienic as fuck, right? Like, we need to shut the shit down, get some yellow tape, and, like, deep clean the fucking carpet or some shit. And my manager was just like, spray some Lysol on it, and then it's whatever. And I'm like, what? And so, like, a customer's over there, and they're standing there where the dude stood. I was like, I'm gonna be, like, 100%, use that computer over there, because a dude straight up, like, pooped his pants and peed himself right where you're standing. And she was like, ew. It's like, why didn't you say something sooner? Because they told me not to.
That's fucked.
Look, it is fucked. Everything's fucked. That's why I make art. Art isn't fucked. Unless you make it fucked, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The point I'm trying to say is, I'm sick of this job, but I'm I'm recognizing that I do have a problem with tardiness and just like not being at places on time. That's been a thing since like elementary school. Like there was a time in 6th grade. My mom does not believe the story, but I have no reason to lie. This was not something I dreamt. I slept through the morning routine of everyone getting up and going to work/school, and my brother already habitually stopped waiting to walk to school with me because I'd take too long. And so he left. My mom and my dad were in such a rush. I guess they both left to work at the same time and assumed that I had already left because they were calling my name and I was not responding. And they didn't hear me in the shower. And my brother had already left. So they're, oh, he left. And I overslept and no, I was alone. And it was like 9:30 and school opens at like 7:30. I was like, oh shit. So then I showered. I ended up getting there around like 10:15 or something. I get there. They do that thing where they lock the school door so that it was locked. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, oh, I overslept. And I was like, can I come in? And she's like, what are you doing here so late? And I was just like, we thought you called out. So then I was just like, oh, sorry. Can I just go to class? And she was like, go, just go. But she never told the principal. She never told the, superintendent, and my mom never found out, and I told her like the day after, but she didn't believe me. She thought I dreamt it. Because to her, if I committed truancy and just didn't show up to class, then she failed as a mother. So, which is not the case. I just a mistake happened. Basically, she was just like, no, that's not true. But it is true, and I've had this habitual thing. I've been late to class in college, high school, doctor's appointments, whatever it is, I've been late to it. I've been late to, I used to get, like, they used to send automated messages, like, hello, Miss, I almost said my mom's last name on stream, hello, Mrs. Blunderson. Hello, Mrs. Blunderson, your son was late, again. This is the 13th time or whatever. And it's not like
and you've never fixed this problem to this day. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, when something becomes habitual and you never reap like major repercussions for it aside from a slap on the wrist and getting a write-up on your permanent record, it's whatever. So my mom's just like
excuses to me.
It is an excuse. And I'm recognizing that I gotta change this aspect of myself, but, like, at the same time, it's like, I don't want to do it for this job, though. I want to do it for this other job. It's weird. It's like, I know I need to get out of this thing, and I should probably do it now before I make this transition, But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of hate this fucking job and could care less, bro. And, like, they seem to get a hard-on on the whole, like, paperwork and being like, this could lead to termination and blah, blah, blah. And every time I respond, like, all right, cool. And they're just like, what? Did you hear what I said? And I'm like, yeah, I heard you, bro. What? I kind of just don't care if someone, like, I respond, that they're just like, oh, well, okay, I told you. Yeah, so, it is what it is.
Well,
because the other thing too is I should probably just like like kind of stay under the radar and not get these write-ups so that when the job in October happens, I can just transition. It's whatever, Also, like, I would like to have savings and not blow all my savings, like, trying to spend it on food during the because, like, I feel like if I get fired now and, like, this job or whatever's in 3 or 2 months, right? I don't want to get, like, another job in between. Because I feel like by the time I get, like, my weekly check, I'm going to be leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to lie and be like, yeah, I'll be here full-time all the time, because I feel like that's bad, too.
I don't know. Your job's going to take more advantage of you than you're going to take of them.
I guess so.
They're only out to make money off of you, so no, I don't think there's any shame in only being out to make money off your job and like kind of screwing them over, because they'd do the same thing to you in a heartbeat. They could,
Yeah, but
and they will.
But again, like, this might be me making excuses again, but like, what happened to that unspoken rule where it's like, oh yeah, 10 to 15 minutes for traffic, 30 minutes, you know, at most. What happened to that? Did I make that up, like, in my head? I thought that was a thing.
Like a thing in school.
I don't think it's... I thought that was just, like, a thing in, like, life. Like, it's like, oh, 10, 15 minutes, like, traffic, 30 minutes.
That definitely depends on where you work. That's not, like, a universal thing.
I guess so, but, like,
Depends
it's
on
just
where
so...
you work and how much they like you.
But I feel like, you know, if I'm like 10 minutes, it's like, alright, fine, I won't take my first 15. Whatever. I don't know. Like, as long as I get my lunch, like my 30-minute break, I don't really care about the other many ones. I mean, my legs do, but I can tough it out for the most part. But yeah, my manager gets really pissy. He likes to argue with, like, customers, you know? Like, he... Not that he gets off on it, but like he doesn't like. He's not the kind of guy who would like diffuse a situation. He's the kind of guy who, like, say a customer is like a really loud octave, he'll match it. He doesn't try to like bring it down, which is dumb to me.
Yeah, that sounds like a really bad trait for a customer service job.
Yeah, but it's whatever.
That's the kind of thing where I'm like, I feel like everyone's manager is so like insane.
No, my last manager wasn't like that. Despite all the personal problems, there's like a bunch of dramatic shit that happened to my old manager. Like Staples was just not a healthy work environment. That's a different story for a different time. But for the most part, he was professional. You know, he cared about making money. He was pretty blunt about that, and you know, he never yell or go crazy. He always knew how to de-escalate things. He knew how to handle people, I should say. This guy does not know how to handle people. Or maybe at some point in his life he knew how to, but he got jaded or something. I don't know. I like to think that people aren't just, like, inherently an asshole, that maybe something happened to them, but, like, I don't know. Maybe that's me being optimistic. Because he's kind of an asshole. Like, he was, like, talking over this old lady who was just like, can you just shut up and stop talking over me? And, like, I was like, damn. Like, this old lady's really getting it into you. And I even asked someone like, hey, what happened with him and that old lady? He's like, oh, she was just mad at him. It wasn't something that, like, we did or something. He pissed her off. And I was like, oh, well, yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know how people like that get manager positions, because it seems like that's the last person who should be doing that.
Seniority and tenure. That's how it all plays out. Seniority and tenure, and just being like, yeah, we can't really fire this guy who's been here so long. But like to them, it's like, do we deal with this headache, or it's cheaper to sweep things under the rug, and I guess the quote unquote the trains arrive on time thing, as opposed to the let's train a new guy who does not do the things that person does.
Yeah.
It's not great that society thinks that way, but yeah. Yeah, it's gone to the point where, like, now it gets to the point, like, when I'm, like, at home after work and, like, I have work in the morning, I'll be like, I don't want to go to sleep right now because I don't want to wake up to go to work. I don't want to go to work, pass out from being tired, and then wake up anxious because I have to go to this job I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, geez. I hope you can get yourself into a better situation, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not stressed out about it at all, like I was with my last job. I'm kind of not coping with things. I don't know how to explain it. I'm kind of just, honestly, this show or stream or whatever is like a source of therapy for me, in which I can vent about these grievances unfiltered. And like that allows me to deal. Yeah, like Jeb Bush. Whereas, before I bottled it, you know, it's funny. I bottled it in so much that like one time when I finally let it all out on this new kid who was working because he invited me to get a beer with him, and I was like, oh, I gotta drive back. He's like, come on, man, it's just one beer, bro. I was like, all right. So then we're talking about the job, and then I just unloaded all the stress on him. He didn't show up the next day. I didn't tell anyone this story because I was like, I didn't want to tell them I was the reason the dude quit. But yeah, that dude quit because of me, bro. He quit because, like, I unloaded, like, yeah, they put me through all this bullshit, man. But, you know, now that you're here, some of the bullshit can get unloaded off of my back and onto yours. And he was like, nah, I'm fucking out of here, bro.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, great for him. Everyone got mad. He's like, oh, what an asshole. You didn't show up. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yikes. At the same time, I was like, yeah, it's bullshit. At the same time, I was like, I know what happened. It was me. I just need to see the offer email for me to just be like, okay, my bases are covered, you know? I need to fill out, like, the paperwork bullshit. And not the word of... I mean, she gave me her business card and her phone number, but... I had the phone number to the Best Buy, too, and they did not answer my calls. I went back in person, too, and the other manager was like, oh, well, she isn't here right now. Write down your email and your phone number, and we'll call you, bro.
Fucking Best Buy. Motherfuckers.
I thought Best Buy was a cinch, too. They needed people in there. There was barely anyone in there. I thought that was a cinch. Hell, I thought the Walgreens right by my house was a cinch too, and they just said, fuck no. It was like the day after too, like I got an automated email saying I wasn't a right fit. And I'm like, how did I not get the job at Walgreens? What was in my resume that was bad? Was it the Gap? Or was it, I don't even know what it could have been, because I applied for the photo department, and that's pretty much what I did at Staples, so I figured like, oh yeah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Nope, not good enough.
It's like art school. Ugh.
What a jerk. So pretentious. This artist.
Dude, seriously, calling himself a director? What has he ever directed in his life?
Skippy the movie.
Skippy
They knew you directed Skippy the movie.
Which Skippy the
They'd
movie?
regret it.
The 2D one. The claymation one.
All.
Death to the demon. I should have made that one a soundbite now that I think about it. I own it. I can definitely do that. Alright, that's enough triangles for tonight. I got pretty far.
When are you gonna host Skippy the movie reanimated?
Do the Kickstarter for that. Get a bunch of local animators. And be like, hey guys, I tricked you all into my animation studio. You're now welcome to Mecha Inc.
That would be sweet.
Dude, having my own animation studio would be so sick.
Yeah.
I'd literally jizz my fucking pants. I'd be like, look at all these people who have to draw what I tell them to draw.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for at this point. Like,
I gave all these artists jobs, baby. I gave these artists jobs.
Yeah, we have to be better. We have to be better managers than your manager. We have to treat employees with respect and pay them fairly. Yeah,
he's definitely the most, like, unprofessional manager I've ever had. I've had managers who just, like, clearly had personal problems. Like, my last one, she fainted or something for, like, 30 minutes and no one noticed. And she got up and said she drank some water. And I was like, how the fuck did you just faint and no one knew or whatever? And in fairness, she said she fainted by clearance and no one's ever by clearance. That's usually where we keep all the shit that no one wanted to buy. So I was like, I believe you, but I'm like, damn, are you okay? Like, what's going on here? That's weird.
Weird.
I mean, Eric worked at a Dollar Tree where one of his managers was literally doing crack.
Yeah, that sounds like Dollar Tree.
And
Not to say there's anything wrong with Dollar Tree or doing crack.
and then what's it called? A cop or narcotics, whatever, came at one point and was like, "We've heard about drug users in the area, not specifically looking for that manager, but he told me a lot of crackheads would just wander into the Dollar Tree a lot.
Yeah.
So there was probably like a crack den nearby. So there's like, we don't know where they go after they come in and out of the store, bro. And it's not like they do the drugs here. They just wander in here high as shit. So I guess I'm complaining about a job that's not as bad as that, but that was pretty bad. He also yelled at me for so I was in a department, you know what Instacart is when you like get people's groceries and shit?
Yeah.
So I was doing that essentially, and it was dead. There were no orders. I did all the orders, and I was like, fuck it. I'll just like grab one of the chairs from optical. Oh, there's a fucking optometrist at this grocery store. I don't know why, who thought that was a good fusion, but there is. And and no one's ever in there. So I was like, hey, can I borrow this chair? And the guy was like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Borrow the chair. I'm sitting in there just on my phone. And I guess my manager, not through the camera, but because there was no cameras in the little nook I was in, I guess he was like wandering by he was like on this little forklift machine. So you can hear the little beep, beep scooting of it. So he was scooting on it. And I guess he went past optical, noticed that one of the chairs was missing. Then he stormed in and he was like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm just like, there's literally nothing for me to do, bro. And he's just like, go find some work to do. You can't just sit and be on your phone all day, bro. And I'm just like, well, it's too early for me to be on my break, and there's nothing for me to do. I figured might as well pull up a chair near the thing I'm gonna be so I can spring into action. I don't know. And apparently he yelled at the optical guy for letting me have the chair, and he was like, oh, fuck that guy, man. It's not a big deal, man. For a chair, come on, dude. Yeah, I don't know what it's up with retail and being like, yeah, these retail employees aren't people; they're NPCs who just stand in the background forever. Yeah. It's like, this isn't a JRPG, bro. I have legs; they feel pain.
I don't get it either. Because like there has been lots of studies and focus tests that show that if you let people take breaks and like be comfortable and like drink water and have basic human necessities like that, they will be able to do more work.
No.
This has been proven time and time again.
No.
But people just like to be cruel, I guess.
I don't know what his deal is, man. He's a big crybaby. Again, this is the kind of guy who's complaining, why is everyone coming to me for help? It's like, dude, you're a manager. That's what a manager does. If you don't want to be a manager, then, I don't know, demote yourself or get another job. That's what I did. I don't like this job, so I got another one. That's what's her name did. I don't know, bro. He's a bit of a crybaby.
He's a big bully.
If I was to compare him to anybody from a cartoon, I'd compare him to Angelica Pickles.
That's not a good person to be compared to.
Yeah, I'd compare him to... I was going to compare him to Helga from Hey Arnold, but I don't think that was fair.
Like, I'm glad people don't compare me to Angelica. That's what I'm saying. Also, she's not related to Tommy, is she? She is, isn't she?
Is she mean?
Same last name, though.
No, they're cousins. They're cousins.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Is her last name Pickles, though?
Yeah, Angelica Pickles. It's her last name.
Okay.
Her father is Stu Pickles' brother. They're cousins.
All right. I've been called out.
You probably didn't think... I'm not calling you out.
I'm sorry, everyone on the stream. I'm sorry.
You probably thought that they weren't related because she's so mean to him, which is... I believe that.
No, people who are related are mean to each other.
Yeah, but she's really mean. Like Megan mean from Drake and Josh, to the point where it's like, how is she related to you? Whose sister was she? Josh's or Drake's?
Really nasty. What? She's Drake's sister.
Biological brother,
no,
sister.
Josh's. She's Josh's. Josh's.
Are you sure about that?
No.
No, I think it's the other way around, dude, because she constantly calls Josh and her dad boob, and the dad is on Josh's side of the family, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but she's mean to everyone.
I think I'm right. Oh, I mean, it's not.
You might be right. You might be right. I don't know.
I guess it's not really a contest, so it doesn't really matter. But
yeah, I don't remember at all. I thought it was Josh, but I very well could be wrong.